Okay, so every single day you guys are asking me, Henrik, when are you gonna make an updated dropshipping course? And I don't blame you, because the results that I've been getting for my own store with Facebook ads the past couple of months have been absolutely insane. In the last 30 days alone, I managed to make over $800,000 with dropshipping. And last time I did this video, it got over 150,000 views or something like that. So today, I'm gonna represent to you my 7 years experience with dropshipping and Facebook ads into a complete course on how to advertise on the platform, and I'm gonna give you one promise today. This video will be the only guide you'll ever need on Facebook ads, and missing it is gonna be a huge mistake. I'm gonna lay out literally every single thing I know about the ad platform. So I know for a fact that it's gonna rank #1 when you search for Facebook ads in e-commerce, and I promise to you that watching this is going to be worth it. I've prepared for you a full PowerPoint. I'm not gonna waste your time. Let's get straight into it. But in short, this video will cover how to start Facebook ads, how to test your products, how to scale them, as well as the strategies I personally use to make over $30,000 daily with dropshipping. What the gurus are selling you in a $5,000 course will be revealed for free today. It's only going to be up to you to actually apply it. Okay, how to run Facebook ads in 2025. Like I mentioned in the intro, this is going to be a full course. It's going to teach you everything you need to know about the platform, and I can guarantee you that if you listen to this, you're gonna make a lot of money. Now, before you run your ads on Facebook, there's a couple of things you must know. And by not having all of this in place, you will either be running campaigns that get 0 results, or Facebook is gonna end up banning you. The things you wanna have prepared is, first of all, the pixel installed. Now, this can easily be done by going to Shopify, online store, preferences, and set up Facebook. I'm not going to show you the pixel setup in this video because it's super easy, and this guide is on how to run ads. The second thing you want to have ready is a way to pay for ads. Now, this can be any type of card. I recommend a credit card, as you can pay ahead of time, but you could even run it with your PayPal. The only thing that's very important when advertising on Facebook is that you have the funding. Do not run with a card that might potentially run out of money, because if the bills aren't paid, could technically be banned. The third thing you want is a verified business manager. You want to make sure you have your domain verified, which once again is very, very easy. And ideally, you've uploaded some of your documents or ID to Facebook. That's not necessarily needed, but it can be a bonus. Okay, so when you first get into the ads manager on Facebook, it's going to look something like this. And I can understand, it's your first time in there, it's going to be a big mess. You're not gonna understand everything, but I got you covered in this video. So, first of all, I have prepared for you the most realistic ad account ever. As you can see, this account is sitting at 19 sales, and you're gonna see later on in this video why I chose this exact account, because it's gonna just demonstrate everything perfect. But on Facebook, there's many things, right? We have here, for example, the amount spent, how much you're spending on ads. We can set different budgets to our campaigns. Now, what you're looking at here is all of my campaigns. I'm going to show you exactly how to set up everything too, but you can see that we are running some ad set budget campaigns, we're running some campaign budget campaigns. I'm going to explain all of that to you later. Now, when running ads on Facebook, the most important metric of all of them is actually ROAS, okay? This metric right here tells you how profitable you are. There is something called ROAS, which basically shows you how profitable you are. And you can also calculate your own break-even ROAS to know how much you need to make in order to be profitable. Usually we say that a ROAS above 2.5 to 3 is considered profitable in most cases. As you can see on some of the ad sets here, we have a 5 ROAS. But the first thing you want to do when you come on Facebook is you want to come up here to columns. And as you can see, I've already customized it. I have one that's called e-com. But what you want to do is you want to come down here to customize columns, and we want to include the most important ones, okay? #1 is going to be CTR. I've already included that. You go ahead and do the same. Then you want to have CPC, very important as well. That's your cost per click, how much you're spending to get the visitor. Then you want to also include ROAS on your ads manager, and ideally cost per result, how much you're spending to acquire a purchase. Next thing you can do, you can go down here, save the column, and have everything set up. Without setting up the right columns, you're not going to be able to analyze your ads. But the only things I really pay attention to is my click-through rate, my ROAS, if I'm profitable or not, and also if I'm making sales on my campaigns. Now, here is what I like to call a test campaign. So you can see it says CBO test. First of all, if you look at the results here, you can see that they are pretty good. Inside of here, I put 5 active ad sets, and as you can see, they're all generating results. So if you're advanced to Facebook and you understand the concept, you go with this. Now let's talk about what makes a successful campaign, because you could be running advertisements and getting 0 sales, and you ask yourself, why does that happen? The first thing that goes into a successful campaign is the product. You need to understand that a good advertisement will never sell a bad product. At the end of the day, the world of e-commerce has to do with product. And by the way, if you're running a brand, you're running something different than dropshipping, this video will still be perfectly relevant for you. The second thing is your creative, and this is the most important part on Facebook. Your videos or pictures, the type of content you choose to advertise, have a good video and you'll make a lot of money. But if you have a bad one, you're gonna get absolutely no interest and lose your money. Number 3, marketing angle. Who are you selling to? Who is your audience? And I want you to think deep down before you launch your first campaign, who are we trying to reach here so that you can optimize your advertisements towards them? The fourth thing that goes into a successful campaign is the audiences that you target. And we just talked about that. Who should you target? You need a clear idea of this from the start. Never go on Facebook and run the product broad hoping that you're gonna get results. You need to have an audience avatar in mind and make your advertisements towards them from the beginning. Going too broad on Facebook without an actual strategy behind it to reach a specific audience is going to make it very competitive for you and almost impossible to make sales. So whenever I have a product, I like to find a way to make it unique. Can I, for example, sell it to older people? Can I sell it to couples? It all depends on the product. Now, why is the creative really so important? Well, that's because that's the one thing that's gonna help your customer decide whether or not he clicks. Advertising is all about decisions, and the first decision your customer will make is, am I even going to check out this person's ad? The second one is, am I gonna click in on their website? So having the perfect creative is very important, but in this video, we're gonna keep it broad and simple. So I'm just quickly gonna show you a couple of examples of what I consider to be good video ads, and I'm gonna teach you how to set up your ads. Now we're moving into a world of Instagram Reels and TikTok style content, and you need to adapt to that. Here you can, for example, see a product that basically shows if your plant is happy. It says things like POV, you're never letting your plants die again, and it shows the product in action instantly. These ads are what we like to call native content, stuff that blends into the algorithm and isn't too salesy, and that's actually what works the best now. Here we have a massage product for cats. As you can see too, there's no sale here, but you instantly get the idea in your mind that, wow, I have to try this out. As you can see, their video has 19 million views, so running that as a paid ad is probably gonna get you sales. Now let's talk about a bit more advanced video ad creation. Running products that solve a problem is what works the best on Facebook, okay? And many people can relate to this. We show the product first. Check in on your baby at night. Every single person with a child is gonna relate to this exact problem. I'm always leaning down to check on my kid. Okay, so let's give this ad a chance. Oh, they seem to have some genius solution here. What is that? Oh, this can finally help me sleep at night and also keep track of my baby without having to leave the bed. And they also have a Halloween deal right now. I should click in. That's what goes through the customer's mind. Here we're basically addressing a pain point in their life and showing how we can make it better. When it comes to video creation, I want you to, number 1, show the product in action instantly. Number 2, people using it, real people in your ads. 3, how it works, all the technical things around it so they get to learn about the product. 4, how it's changed someone's life. And 5, the actual offer that you're giving. And this offer must be unique on Facebook. 50% off sale ending at midnight doesn't work anymore. You need something like click in to claim your free gift. Buy one, get one free. Now let me show you a weird but genius ad. As you can see, this guy has a clogged toilet, and nothing more embarrassing than being in a family dinner. You know, you end up clogging the toilet. It's just not a good situation. But look how the video instantly shows the problem solved within the first 3 seconds. No caption needed. The hook is everything you need to go ahead and purchase the product. Here shows the manual way of doing it. Everyone can relate to this struggle. Honestly, if you can relate to this, you need to go to the doctor. But some of you maybe can relate to this. So then it shows the problem being solved and how easily it works, and it makes people click in on the website. Another style of videos that works well now is unboxing videos, showing you receiving the product, opening it, and how happy you are with the reaction. Now this video is not about video ads, so I'm just gonna keep that brief. Let's talk about how to actually run your ads. But before that, the audience you target, it has to relate to the video ad, okay? Do not run the broad stuff without intention. find an audience and make ads around their problem. So here's how my Facebook ad setup looks like. Of course, in a second I'm gonna set it up live for you. But I tend to go with $60 a day starting budget. Now, if you think that's too much for you, you can also go with $40 and you can cut your ads early if they're not performing. For the guys who understand, you can probably live with a screenshot here, but we go with 3 ad sets, purchase as the event, we schedule it to start at midnight. For the targeting, we go completely broad. We don't go for any interest. The placements, we keep Advantage Plus, and we have 3 different videos. Now, these 3 ad sets can have 3 different videos towards different demographics. The whole point about this strategy is to test our videos first before we find the audience. Because trust me, it's a lot easier to find a winning audience once you already have a video. So I want you to create 9 unique videos. I know it's a lot of work. Could technically do 2 videos in each ad set too and run 6. It's going to be up to you. The last thing I got to tell you before running ads is that Facebook in 2025 is broad. So keep it that way. Don't go against that. Once we start scaling, we will narrow things down. And like I said, today I'll show my entire scaling strategy too. This video is everything you're gonna need to actually become a millionaire with Facebook ads. So we're on Facebook and we're looking to make our first campaign. Where you wanna go over here is where it says campaigns. You wanna come to this button that says create. Then you wanna select sales campaign in every single case. Your goal here is to get sales, right? Next thing you wanna do is you wanna go for manual sales campaign. And by the way, this is how you always test the products. You can keep this in the future too. Next thing you want to do is continue. Once you get in on this side, I want you to just name it your product name just to keep it simple. And if I don't mention something, don't care about it. Like I'm not going to mention categories because you don't need to care about it. If it says Advantage Plus catalog on, turn this button off. This will ruin everything. Do not have it on. Next thing you want to do is you want to go for the campaign budget here. We're going to go for $60 a day. And that's how simple the campaign level is. We're going to continue to the next part. In the ad set, you obviously want to go for a website. You want to go maximize number of conversions. And then you want to go ahead and put in your pixel, which you have installed in Shopify. Now for the conversion event, it's pretty obvious that we want to go for purchase. So with that out of the way, we can scroll down. Personally, I like to schedule my ads to start at 6 in the morning because the people I sell to, they're probably gonna be asleep at night. So I like to start my ads 6 in the morning and let them run a full day. Advertising, Facebook is gonna show you all this stuff on the right side. Don't trust them. They're just gonna spend your money bad places, okay? So whatever they say, don't believe in it. Now for the countries you sell to, that's going to be your decision. But a few that's very good when you first start dropshipping is Australia, New Zealand, Canada, United States, and Germany. Now why Germany? It's not an English-speaking country. I don't know. I'm just making way too much money from that country right now to not put it in. So Germany is a gem that I'm gonna give you guys in this video. Now, if you have a local business, you can actually zoom in on the Facebook map. Then you can drop a pin right where you want to advertise. Then you can go ahead and decrease the mile radius. And let's say someone is living in Braun, which is the name of this place right here. We can actually target the entire area only. Now this is very niche though. Now for the audience, you also want to go with Advantage Plus. Back in the days, we would usually go with interest targeting here, but today I don't really recommend you do it. I keep every single thing super broad, so we can keep going down to the placements where we're gonna keep it super broad. That's how easy the ad setup is. Now next page we're gonna get to is the ad creation part. Here, you want to come down, you want to click manual upload, single image or video. And like I said, no catalog. Link is going to be to your product page, okay? For the media, you're simply just going to go ahead and upload your video and you're going to go with a primary text. When going for primary text for a product, I usually tend to ask ChatGPT and just rewrite it a little bit, but be careful that your ads aren't too overpromising. Don't say things like, say goodbye to acne. Facebook is going to shut that down. It's important that you describe your product briefly, but don't give too much of a promise because the customer, they're going to justify the purchase in their head anyways. So for the media, simply just go ahead and upload one of your videos. Then Facebook is going to let you see it on the side, how it looks. You simply want to go with primary text only as your text. So if I type, for example, free shipping right here, you're going to see that on the ad, it's going to be displayed as free shipping on top. So here you ideally want to craft your offer, then you're good to go and you can publish your ads. Now with all of this done, you're going to be in this situation. You're going to have one campaign. Inside of that campaign, you're going to have one ad set. Then you're going to have one ad. The next thing you want to do is you want to duplicate the ad so that the ad set has 2 or 3 different videos under it. So if it's 2 for you, you're simply just going to go ahead and make 2 copies right here. Then we're just going to come down to the left menu here. Simply just going to scroll down and we're going to go ahead and replace our videos. So then we can just click on the trash can right here. We can go back to add media. you can go ahead and add a video, and then we're just gonna upload our next video for a product. Sometimes it's gonna give you some errors, but it's actually not very relevant. Then we're gonna do that on all our 3 until we have 2 to 3 different videos in the ads. The next thing you wanna do is you wanna go ahead and duplicate your ad sets. So we're gonna have 3 in total, original campaign, everything is set up. You can go ahead and publish. Now just make sure you scroll through this really quickly and make sure everything is set up properly. But that is how your test campaign is going to look. $60 a day in the spend. We're gonna have 3 ad sets inside of it. It's gonna equal around $20 per. And inside of each ad set, we're going to have 3 completely different videos. Now with the testing strategy out of the way, I'm sure that this setup that I just showed you make a lot more sense now. So that is how you test a product with Facebook ads in 2025. But now that you're testing it, how do you know if it's worth running? What do you look for in a test? Because let's face it, this is simple. Everyone can test a product, but do you know how to analyze it? Do you know when to kill or scale your ad set? Do you know what's even good? Well, that's what I'm gonna teach you right now because I have a unique way of analyzing it. Now, after a test, all kinds of scenarios can happen. The first one is going to be 0 sales. If that's you, I recommend you to cut the campaign and relaunch. It might be that your campaign was suffering from a low click-through rate, or you simply didn't get that many clicks on your website. People didn't seem interested. What you can do in that case is you can relaunch it with a couple of new videos, or you can do what I usually do and just cut the product and move on. Number 2, you have 1 sale. If that's the case, leave it running another 12 hours as it might optimize better or get you more sales. The third scenario is that you made 2+ sales. That's a very good spot to be in. And if that's you, I want you to add new ad sets and delete the bad ones. I will explain what I mean about that in a second. The fourth scenario is 3+ sale in 1 ad set, in the same one. If that is you, congratulations, because you're about to scale to the moon. Okay, so let's say that you're running your campaigns and you're getting good results like this. For example, in one of our ad sets, we have 2 sales. We have a couple other ad sets sitting at 3 sales. The first move that I want to make is, first of all, to cut off the one that's wasting our money. This one spent $49. It's not made us a single sale. I like to think that if an ad set spends $15, $20, it doesn't get you a sale. I think that it's time to just cut that one. You can also see that it has the lowest click-through rate, and that's a metric that I'm gonna teach you about in a second, which is very important. The things that I really look at when judging my ads is, first of all, the ROAS. Are we profitable? With a 5 ROAS, we're making a lot. That basically means that for every dollar that I spend, I make $5 back. With a 2 ROAS, for every dollar I spend, I make $2 back, meaning that I double my money. There's obviously product costs as well though. The next thing I will look at is my click-through rate. And if this one is low, the product isn't running to its potential and you might have to try more videos. Next thing I'm looking at is my CPC. Ideally, this one should be less than $1. And as you can see, here we're even targeting the USA and we're getting 1 click on some of our best ad sets for $0.47, $0.57, $0.60. We're getting 408 clicks for $300 spent. We have 10 purchases. That's a 4% conversion rate, pretty good. Now over to the main metric I'm obviously looking at when running something is the sales that I'm getting. As you can see, one of our ad sets has spent only $29 and made 3 sales. This is clearly a dominating ad set. So what I want then is something very obvious. I want to make copies of it. So to make it work even better, I'm going to go ahead and simply just make a copy of that ad set. So I'm going to click duplicate. Then I'm gonna click the duplicate button again, and then I'm simply just gonna go ahead and publish it as a straight up copy. So for every ad set I have that's doing good, I like to duplicate them, especially if they have 3 sales. Here we have another one at 3 sale, so we're gonna do the same with that, duplicate it and see if it can perform better. Now the next thing you wanna do when you have a campaign that's performing well, so you wanna come down to the budget here and obviously increase it. If you're making money spending $60 a day on your campaign, why not increase it to 80? Or in my case, as it's already on 80, why don't we just increase it to $120, as it's clearly making me a lot of sales anyways, because we're just gonna make more money. So what we're doing is we're looking for dominating ad sets, we're cutting the ones that don't work, we didn't give them another chance, and then we increase the campaign budget. Now let me show you one trick that is the one way that I can scale with predictability, okay? The one way that gets me from $1,000 a day all the way up to $10,000 a day. And that is to scale my winning ad sets in an ABO. Now, most gurus out there who don't know what you're talking about, they're gonna say, no, that's outdated. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my best ad sets, so all of these ad sets are pretty good, they're making sales. I'm gonna take them all, duplicate, then I'm gonna select new campaign, okay? Then for the number of copies, we're gonna go with only 1. Go ahead and duplicate the campaign. But here is where the twist comes in. Where it says advantage campaign budget, this time we're gonna shut it off. We're gonna give each individual ad set its own budget to see how well it can optimize. So I'm manually just gonna come in here. I'm gonna edit every single one of them to $10 a day, because what we had previously was a budget towards the entire campaign. But now that we found our winning ad sets, I want to allocate $10 a day to each one of them to see how good they can perform. Now with that out of the way, we're gonna have different ad sets here that's gonna be spending around $10 a day each. And the reason this way is better to scale is that when we increase the budget, we can do it for only one ad set specifically. So this one, for example, is sitting at 3 sales. What I like to do with ad set as 3 sales, so I like to go ahead and duplicate them. Then I like to go and increase the budget to 25. The next thing that I'm gonna do as well is I'm also gonna make in the ABO campaign another duplicate like we just did. This is called horizontal scaling, where you literally just duplicate the ad set and you publish. You're creating more soldiers. The same ad set that's working, you're just creating more and more copies of it, and you're also making versions of it at double the budget to see if it can perform better. Now in a second, I'm gonna show you the one reason behind my big success with Facebook ads, but before that, I think it's important that we talk about click-through rate. Because this metric right over here, CTR, is one of the most important things to look at when advertising. Your click-through rate. Basically, what percentage of people who sees your videos clicks in on your ad. If this metric is less than 3%, your lack of sales is no longer really valid. Okay, there's nothing wrong. You simply can't judge a campaign based on low CTR. So what this means is that you might have selected the wrong videos, or people might not even be interested in your product. So let's talk about the most common reason for low CTR. Like I said in the beginning, your videos suck, and I get it. You're first starting dropshipping, making video ads is not gonna be easy, but for every time you hit a good one, you're gonna see what works and what doesn't. Secondly, maybe you are reaching the wrong audience. Now this has to do with your marketing angle, and for that reason, I recommend you to make multiple different videos towards multiple different people. Now the third option can be your product. It simply just doesn't have any demand, and if you're trying everything but you're not getting sales, then you should honestly just quit the product and give up. Dropshipping is all about products. There is this thing called winning products, right? And that's for a reason. Some things aren't gonna sell, and your first products, I hate to tell it to you, they probably suck. Mine did too. Now, if you follow my quick ad creation guide I gave you earlier, the CTR problem is unlikely due to any of these reasons. Your product just won't sell, so you should move on, because at the end of the day, dropshipping is about testing products. But of course, if you're running a campaign, you're getting bad click-through, you might as well test a couple more videos. Now, here's 2 proven ways to boost clicks, your CTR. Testing more video ads. Relaunch a new campaign with 5 more creatives and find a winning video. Then what you can do is you can bring the winning video into your old campaign. We're essentially going back to the start over again and retesting creatives. And even at the point of making 10K a day, I'm always making new $50 CBOs where I'm testing out the videos. Every single week in the scaling process, I will try to find new videos that can perform even better than my old one that I will bring back in my campaign. Because creatives will get fatigued after a couple of weeks and you're gonna have to replace them. Now, the second proven way to boost clicks is obviously to select the right audience, and you can do so with the Facebook interest targeting to boost your CTR a lot. Now, this is a little bit advanced, but if you get it, I'm gonna really try to help you here. You are going to be making more money than anyone you know, more money than doctors. And if you're serious, maybe one day you'll have $1 million brand. Now, the feature I'm talking about is at the Advantage Plus audience. Go down here, switch to original audience, and Facebook is gonna tell you all sorts of stuff. Don't listen to them. Come down here to advanced detailed targeting. And you remember this product right here for babies? Let's say that we're selling that. What we can do is we can search for parents, and then we can go as specific as parents with kids up to 12 months. Now, isn't this interest perfect for this type of product? Yes, it is. And for the size, as you can see, that's 4.7 million. I recommend you to not run anything lower than 2 million, as it's just unnecessarily difficult. Good size of interest like 4 million, all the way up to 1 billion, really. Parents with toddlers could also be super relevant. Now, say you launch a new campaign from scratch. You put like 10 ad sets in it. Each ad set, I want you to give a different interest. Okay, so we're gonna be testing 10 interests, 10 different audiences until we find one that sticks. So for our first ad set, we can, for example, go parents with kids up to 12 years old. Then for our second ad set, we can search up the same one. We can go parents, then we have the same one. And then what we can do, so we can come down to suggestions right here. And Facebook is gonna give us the perfect suggestions for our products. Married could, for example, be a good interest because Facebook is gonna figure out who inside of the audience you target is most likely interested. So they will kind of find the married people who has a kid. It's crazy what they can do really. But the suggestion field here is your best friend. And you could even be testing with interest from day one. There's so many opening moves that you should go with the one you want. Now, when testing interest, I like to go with ABO though, but married could be a super good interest here. I also like to do some broad interest like online shopping, targeting Netflix, for example. But another thing we can do is we can stack interest because as you can see, Facebook only shows you around 15 relevant interests and they are all going to be a little bit basic. So if we go ahead and we mix it up ourselves, let's say we add in as well childcare and then we add in Cartoon Network, which is a channel for kids, then we hit the suggestions and what you're going to see is that your suggestions now is so much more mixed and is giving you the kind of interest that you would have never thought about. Beforehand, we didn't see kindergarten. Now we do. We see Peppa Pig, we see infant, child development, Disney princess, preschool, baby shop. These are all perfect interests for this kind of product. So don't sleep on interest targeting. As soon as you find a couple of winning video ads, you're starting to make some sales, make a separate campaign where you take the video ads that's working, and you put them into an ABO and start testing as many interests as possible. Facebook ads and making money is about how well you can combine a winning video with an audience. So as soon as things start working, I want you to start testing interest like crazy. I want you to be testing 2 to 3 interests every single day. If they spend the $10 budget we give them, they're not making any sales, cut them instantly. On Facebook, you can see super early if things aren't working. If you're spending $40 on a campaign, $50 a campaign, and you're not getting any results, shut that thing off and make some changes, okay? Because it's not gonna get better overnight. So interest targeting is how we make a lot of money, as you'll be scaling a specific audience that kind of belongs to you. Your competitors most likely not reaching them, and you can find people exactly for your product. So we make new ad sets with the interest. Once it gets 3 sales, we duplicate it, we increase the budget to $25 a day, we make copies of it, we keep the cycle going, and we always find new interest. Interest targeting is the key if you want to get super high ROAS, like for example this one at 4. And by the way, I also have a mentorship program where I teach this. So if you want to learn dropshipping and advertising from me personally, you can go ahead and send me a message on Instagram right here. Now at this stage, you're starting to get a lot of ad sets that's making sales. As you can see here, I have a lot of good ones. I have a couple at 3 sales, I have a couple at 2 sales. Some of them even have a pretty good ROAS, others not so good. What I can then do, and this is how we scale to big days, I take my 4 to 5 favorite ad sets. So let's go with 4 in this. So let's go with 4 in this case. Then I click the big duplicate button up here. I go for new campaign, okay? I call it CBO crazy or something like that. I basically take my most successful ad sets into a new campaign. I'm gonna give it $50 per ad set. So it's gonna give us a campaign budget of $200 as we're working with 4 ad sets. Now, Facebook not necessarily gonna spend, $50 on each, but that's how I kind of allocate it. So at this point, we're having ads that's pumping. We're gonna take a big risk. We're gonna duplicate them into an advantage campaign, budget campaign. We're gonna give it $200 and watch your sales just take off tomorrow. This is the one risk you gotta take. Every time you have something that performs, duplicate it into a high risk campaign with big budget, publish it, and watch your store take off. In 9 out of 10 cases, this will work. If it doesn't, just try it again. Then watch your campaign take off and do the same thing next day. When you are scaling CBOs, and CBOs is campaign budget optimization, you are scaling campaigns where you give the whole campaign a budget, you're simply gonna scale vertically and aggressively. So if you're making a lot of sales on it and it's profitable, simply go ahead and edit the $200 budget up to $400. $400 performing good, you increase it to $800 and you keep the cycle going. Now here's the most important part of scaling. You're gonna do all of this. We're gonna get an ad set up to 3 sales, duplicate and make a copy, duplicating and increase the budget, put our winning ad set into a CBO, but we're always gonna keep the whole process going. So while doing this, you're at the same time going to find new interest in your ABO. You're gonna make a $50 CBO from scratch to test new videos every week to get new creatives. you're gonna be doing the entire process over and over again. So at some point, you're gonna have like 10 different campaigns working for you, but you're never too good to take a step back, run some $10 ad sets, find new audiences. So in short, what I'm looking for when I'm testing a product on Facebook is 3 sales in the same ad set. If I get that, I'm gonna start scaling that ad set and ideally get multiple of them to work for me, because you never wanna rely on only one ad set on Facebook. And for that reason, I highly recommend you to test interest so you can rely on multiple audiences. Now let's talk about some common reasons for no sales in your ads. First of all, targeting the USA or top 5, even though I told you to do that, sometimes it's going to be a little bit expensive. If that's your case, try to target an untapped country. Run your ads to, for example, Australia only, or even translate your store and run it to like Germany or something. If you do that, you're gonna get super low CPC. Secondly, high CPC, and this comes from saturated products and countries. If you want to lower CPC, target something other people aren't doing, think outside the box, or go for an untapped market. Now, truly though, everything has to do with your CPC. If it's too high, you're just not gonna have a profitable campaign at all. Next thing is bad video ad creation or boring products that don't help people's life. Learn how to find good products, because some just can't be sold. When selling things on Facebook specifically, we need to improve the customer's day-to-day life somehow. Don't just sell stupid products. It doesn't help anyone unless they really are cool. Ideally, we solve a problem, we help someone with their insecurities, because people who get rich, they get rich by solving big problems. And the last part, never be emotionally attached to your ads, because if it doesn't work, just move on. That's what you gotta do. There's better products out there. It's gonna make you more money. Now here you can see a couple of my students who have been following the exact same strategy. The store to the right is actually mine. At this point, is doing 800K a month. We have someone did 6K yesterday. The store doing around $600 a day. Here we have Mike, who made $76,000 his first month after partnering up with one of my other students. Jack, who made $10,000 in just one weekend. We also have another one of my students who's making 2.6K every single day with dropshipping. And I could show you hundreds of more results. Like I said earlier, if you want to learn from me directly, you can reach out to me on Instagram. Now, this is the way to run Facebook ads in 2025. Everything has to do with your video ads, so make sure you understand that early on. I hope you liked this video. If you did, remember to click a like on it and subscribe, because I really put so much effort into this one. I really think it was super valuable, so I really hope that you were happy with it as well. If there's anything I can do better, let me know in the comments and we'll make a follow-up video. But that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one.